Once the glittering capital of Nizams, the city of Hyderabad has now become home to a generation of children living on streets. At least 50,000 children live or work on the streets of Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Everyone loves childhood. Childhood is the age of fun and frolic, love and protection. The rapid development of the city may have brought many positive economic changes in the lives of ordinary people, has also led to unemployment, family breakdown and rural migration, driving children as young as 7 to leave home to seek some kind of a living on the streets. Children run away from homes either because of abusive situations as a result of poverty. Street is not a safe place for children to live in. The immediate concern of children coming on streets are survival and shelter. Children struggle every minute for basic survival needs like shelter, food, clothing, water, and basic health care. In their quest for survival on the streets, their first strategy is to start working and become child laborers. Rag picking is most popular, and children see to it as the easiest way to make money. To raise enough money through rag picking, children regularly travel to areas some 3 to 4 hours far from their shelter, negotiate a deal with rag picking depots and buy all the requirements for their survival, which is no mean accomplishment for a child of 10 to 12 years. It really shocks to see children under 10 years of age also pushed into the streets and struggling to survive on the streets, while some children opt for tea selling, others sweep in trains, or do shoe polishing. All these seem to be relatively safe. When we see these innocent children working in slaughterhouses, working in inhuman and hazardous conditions. If children working in slaughterhouses seem inhuman, all the feelings of these children seem deadened by regularly lifting dead bodies of accident victims on railway tracks. Survival for children in such circumstances can be the all-consuming daily task. Finding adequate shelter, food, clothing and healthcare leaves little time for much else. There may be no time to look for educational, recreational or job opportunities or to plan for a future. To survive on the streets, they have to live like adults. They have to work, earn their own bread, protect themselves from the society, from the nature. Somewhere in the struggle for survival, children on streets lose their innocence. They lose their childhood. Sometimes, trying to protect themselves from physical, mental or sexual abuse, children run away from situations. To escape from all this stress, children living on streets even attempt suicide. One of the major concerns of Hyderabad Council of Human Welfare is the growing abuse of the correction fluid as drugs by the children living on streets in Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Children living on streets are taken to erase abuse due to boredom, curiosity and wanting to feel good, to relieve hunger, to keep awake or to get sleep and to dream. Hyderabad Council of Human Welfare appeals that special attention be given to prevention and interventions related to the misuse of erasics as inhalants. This need is to be considered urgent due to the almost universal use of such substances by street children in twin cities. Hyderabad Council of Human Welfare has initiated a week-long children's carnival or Bachpanotsav 7 years ago. Every year, starting from 14th November, the Children's Day, to 20th November, the International Day for Child Rights, the 7th annual Bachpanotsav or Children's Carnival was inaugurated on 14th November 2004 by Dr. Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy, Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Hyderabad Council of Human Welfare would like to express its sincere thanks to Ms. Sumita Daura, IAS, Managing Director and Vice Chairman, Sports Authority of Andhra Pradesh, for extending her full support and sponsoring the venue, prizes and gifts. The carnival, as usual, started with a bang, with children eager to showcase their talents by singing songs and dancing. Children living on the streets need the smallest excuse to break into a dance. And when there is some good, loud music, their joy knows no bounds. And after all the fun, tapping a simple rhythm on the microphone is all that is required to bring some order. The Director of Hyderabad Council of Human Welfare, Mohammad Rafiuddin, welcomed the children in his inaugural speech and thanked them for turning up in huge numbers. The beginning of the carnival was marked by a simple lamp lighting ceremony by HCHW team and releasing colorful balloons, much to the enjoyment of the children. The awareness programs in the carnival have been planned to help children living on the streets to change their attitudes and perceptions. While doing rag picking, children are exposed to a lot of hazardous waste. Experts gave a presentation on how children can protect themselves. Children living on streets generally sleep, play and walk on the roads. The traffic police gave an orientation on road safety and traffic rules for these children. The educational awareness program on health and hygiene by Apollo gave children more information on health problems among street children. The camp gave awareness on how to maintain dental hygiene and prevent oral health problems. To help children identify incidents of leprosy among them, an awareness campaign was organized with the help of Lepra India. Forced unsafe sexual practices by adults, commercial or survival sex, trading sexual favors for food, money or protection, or just plain attempts to imitate the bad role models, children living on streets have become vulnerable to sexually transmitted diseases and HIV/AIDS. The nature of continuous exposure to the streets make children vulnerable to a range of health and other problems. Unhealthy living environment, including unsafe water supply and open sewerage, make children living on streets vulnerable. The leprosy detection camp was organized to detect any unidentified leprosy cases among the children. Poor diet, lack of proper sleep, and working hazardous work environments, children develop ear, nose, and throat problems. To address these problems, an eye camp and an ENT camp were organized in the carnival. Most children living on streets have got addicted to chewing tobacco, gutka, and smoking, leading to several dental problems. Sometimes, the dentists had no option but to simply pull out the damaged teeth. Confirming the worst fears, the STD detection and treatment camp identified and gave treatment to 93 children living on streets. Competitions in various sports and games were organized during the Carnival, which gave an opportunity for children living on streets to play and compete different games. These sports and games help children to develop competitive spirit among them and make them understand the importance of teamwork. The Children's Carnival gave a platform and opportunity to show, express, present and explore their talents. Children's Carnival encourages children to draw their ideas and feelings through paintings to enliven their creative talent. A colorful Rangoli competition was organized for girls. They got an opportunity to express their creativity in terms of colorful Rangoli designs. Children living on streets and in other difficult circumstances lack joy and merriment of childhood. Various entertainment programs were organized during Children's Carnival to make them regain their childhood. Joy rides like rotating wheels, merry-go-rounds gave moments of joy and merriment for the children. One-minute competitions were organized for children. Each of the contestants is given 1 minute time to do a funny activity, such as tying a sari, doing a makeup, wearing bangles, and so on. Riding on horse and camel was a great joy and experience for children that they may never forget in their lives. Before HCHW's intervention, children living on streets were routinely subjected to harassment and arbitrary and illegal detention. HCHW has conceived an interaction program between police and children living on streets to help them know each other better and bridge the gap between the police personnel and children living on streets. To make this bond stronger, children living on streets tied a friendship band on the wrists of the policemen, and policemen in turn tied a friendship band on children's hands. Children living on streets have no opportunities for developing attachments within a family, school, or peer environment. This lack of exposure to such positive environments further compromises their capacity to learn positive behavior, attitudes, and interests. Children living on streets are generally deprived of hygienic and nutritious food and have to make special efforts to get each meal. Children's Carnival offers hygienic, nutritious and delicious food 3 times a day, that is breakfast, lunch and dinner. Children were served food with utmost love and care. Sweets and fruits were also served along with food every day. Apart from food, different kinds of ice creams were served to children every day. The week-long carnival ended with a grand valedictory ceremony. The distinguished guests addressed the children and expressed happiness to see so many children enjoying the carnival. They applauded the work of HCHW and appreciated their efforts in collaborating with the government departments. HCHW arranged a choreographer for the carnival, and with his training, the children presented a popular Punjabi number in great style, with beautiful costumes and music, giving professional dancers a run for their money. The joy of the children knew no bounds, winning in competitions and receiving awards by eminent persons. These are some of the precious moments which children living on streets are going to cherish their whole life. HCHW expresses its sincere thanks to all the distinguished guests who extended their full support, attended the camp, and gave encouragement to both HCHW and the children living on the streets.
During this carnival, as you are seeing it, we have made elaborate arrangements for the children where they can have lot of fun and nutritious meal 3 times a day. So all these arrangements we have made, and people think that it may cost very huge amount, but I would like to share with all that it costs only 250 rupees per child for the complete 1 week, and I think for the happiness of a child, this 250 rupees is very meager amount, and I shall appeal all people as well as organizations and establishments, if they are interested they can come forward and support this cause. In fact, it is your support which is synthesizing with our efforts, and we are seeing the results today. What we see over here is the happiness and joy on the faces of children, and I am sure every responsible citizen would definitely like to see this smile on the child's faces of the children. Let us all join together and ensure that this smile continues on the faces of children.